Hey everybody, it's Kelly. So I think I might need to adjust that. Oh, actually, nope, looks good. I'm going to do a 2-page layout today. So I wanted to make sure I could have this pretty well in the picture for you guys. And I'll just get my other device up here so that I can see you and talk to you. Sorry guys, I'm not sick. I promise I'm not. Just, spring. Anyway, so how is everybody? Hey, Brittany, good to see you. Or, at least see your name. I am down to just a couple layouts left, literally, for 2019. So all my grandkids' layouts are done. I finished my great-nephew's layouts earlier this week. And then I have this one and one more to do for myself, except the one I have to do for myself has a picture of the bracelet I use. It's an ID bracelet when I use to run. But it has my mom and my sister's phone number out in the open, and I'm pretty sure they wouldn't appreciate it if I broadcast that nationally across the world. So anyway, so I'm going to do this. So I live in Wisconsin. That's not hard to find if you really wanted to. So that's not telling anything. But last year we had the most snow we had for the year, or for the whole winter, on Halloween. We had 2 storms Halloween week and then one right after Halloween. So 3 storms within a week of each other. This was the big one for me, about 8 inches of snow actually on Halloween. There were a lot of trick-or-treat things canceled and that kind of stuff. So I wanted to get that because, I mean, like you can see all the trees here have leaves on, and a lot of them were still actually green, and this one's a cool one too. So you can see how much snow we actually had on the top of that table on my deck. So that's kind of where I am, and I'm going to use probably mostly Halloween things here. So I've grabbed some Halloween paper. This is a bunch of Halloween die cuts. I've grabbed these, which are not white, so I'm trying to figure out if I'll use those or not. But they look like Halloween snowflakes to me. They're a little distressed for this paper, but I'll see if I can work those in. So Halloween die cuts, I have this awesome Alley Studio. This is a printable that says tricks or treats. Well, this is going to be a trick, so I thought that would be good for journaling, and another thing there. And then I'm just going to pull, if I can find it. Here we go. I probably won't use this, but this will be my reminder that I might want to grab some snowflakes. And I do have wood snowflakes, so I could pretty easily mix those in with these and other things to get this to look a little bit more distressed. So we'll see how that goes. While you guys are on, before I completely forget, I want to kind of tell you, I think my last live, I think it was the last one, I was telling you about, I used the all boy sticker book. And I found the first page of my stickers were not cut right. So on Thursday, I sent them an email, and they shipped a new book out right away. They never even called me. It just a notification came through that a new book was coming. And I was really surprised yesterday because I just checked to see when it was going to come, because, so much of our shipping stuff right now is pretty slow because we're all having to do stuff through the mail. But it was supposed to come today. So I was like flabbergasted. And then as I was looking, I realized they mailed it to an address that I was at 4.5 years ago in my last condo that I lived in. So I'm not quite sure how they did that, because I haven't lived there, and I actually have ordered more from them where I live now than I ever did when I lived there. And like I said, it's not been 4.5 years. So I've now sent them another note to say, hey, hopefully this is being returned, because you didn't send it to the right address, and you really didn't send it to the address the original order was delivered to. So that was a little interesting why that happened. But anyway, so there is the books. I wanted to update you guys on that. So if you have a problem at scrapbook.com, definitely contact them, because they were so good about it, right away. Because really, out of all the pages here, it's only one page that's miscut, but they just sent me another one and told me to keep this one. That's the other thing. So that's pretty awesome. All right, so back to the layout. So I'm going to start with these two pieces of paper here. They are from Bella Boulevard Spooktacular, and it is the Pumpkin Day paper. This is a paper that's older though, but I bought a lot of it at one point because I love the background for a lot of their collections. This is actually a doodlebug paper, so it's not exactly the same green, but close enough, and there's a lot of green in these photographs. So hey Barbara, good to see you. And then I'm thinking I'm going to use this as strips somewhere on the layout somehow. And then photographs, and then I'm going back and forth, and maybe I could do it this way, between whether I use this gold or whether I use this orange. And this is one of the things see this, if I use the orange, this photograph is going to disappear right into it. I like how it pops the pumpkin, but this will disappear. I could use both of them, but I think, you know, like one on one side and one on the other. But I think doing that, I'll just, it would just get, I don't know, kind of confusing looking. Here, this is what I'll sometimes do when I'm working with a double page layout and I'm trying to decide colors. Let's get rid of that. Is I'll do this and see, okay, how does that look with both things here? And I think that's a lot for your eye to try to take in. So I'm definitely going to use the gold paper here. So we'll do that. So what I'm going to do is I'll cut, and this is, I should tell you who this is. This is Lawn Fawn Knock on Wood, and it's Garden Bench. It's a paper from 2017. So this is one of those papers that are in my faux solids. So sometimes I'll just like go and I'll just buy a bunch of them, which as soon as we are out of our stay-at-home order, I'm definitely going to need to do that. You guys, I have Scrapbook so much. I have a Flickr account, so if you ever want to kind of keep track of me, that's a good way to do that, or what I'm working on, because I'm there. Okay, so here's the other thing. With the way I have these arranged now, because I had to cut this in half, I don't have another paper. So maybe what we do is this. Okay. So that would make a little bit more sense, I think, as you know, it just goes all the way across. And I could do something like this if I wanted to, where I cut one of these photographs, part of one of these photographs too. That's another option. I have done that before. We'll just kind of see. So what I started to say is I have a Flickr account and I post all of my layouts there. If you're ever wondering where that, like where it's easy to see me. So hey, thanks Brittany, that's really, really sweet. I hope I'm a little bit of a distraction right now for everybody. So anyway, you can go to Flickr and find my name, Kelly Oblak, out there, and you'll be able to see the layouts that I'm putting up. So that's really sweet. This, you guys, is like therapy for me right now, in all seriousness. It keeps me busy. And I feel like I have some sort of people contact, which is, you know, that's kind of hard when you live alone with two really sassy cats. Okay, so now I could do it so that I don't cut the paper here or here. And I just do something like this, where I border it like this. And I kind of like that. So I think what I'm going to do is cut this into 4 strips, because I can always shorten the strips up. That'll be easy. There we go. So a little update on what's going on here in Wisconsin. Our stay-at-home order has now been extended to the 26th of May, which means probably no work for Kelly for that long. And we'll see. I actually have a feeling that the reason our governor did that is that he is going to try to open the state back up, but do it incrementally, if that makes sense, and that will give us time to do it. I think you guys that are at least those of you that I can see, you know that I'm a massage therapist, so I don't really want to be working until I'm pretty confident that things are ready to are pretty good again, which they are not. The county that I work in has the third highest incidence of the virus right now. So I was just talking to my sister about that this morning, and she is a nurse. So she's got I have a little bit of an insight onto what's actually going on in the hospital. So anyway, so Brittany, you guys are till April 30th. We were the 24th, so we would have been off next Friday. But, and I knew they were going to extend it. We still have too much going on. So, well, that'll be nice for you guys if you get to come out of it. It'll be interesting to see what happens. So this is what I'm thinking of doing. And I kind of actually like the band straight across. Interesting. I didn't think I was going to like that. And I think I like it down below. Sometimes I'll put it up here. Like I would bring them up here. But I think because I've got these tall photos and then the short photos, I think they need to stay at the bottom because they kind of look like a stair step. All right, so let's just get this on. I'll just make a decision here, right? So the other exciting thing I did today is I do have to take a trip out of the house today because I just put a big photo order into Walmart, and I live not very far from a Walmart. I actually can run by Walmart pretty easily when I run. So I'll run down there. Well, I'm not going to actually run down there, but I'll go over there when we're done and pick that up. I ordered 122 photos, and that's just kind of the photos from, like Easter and that kind of a thing. So my daughter-in-law posted a bunch of photos to Facebook for Easter, which I love, and she knows that I steal them then. Willingly, she does that so that I can steal them. So I'll have some fun spring photos to Scrapbook as well. Okay, so yeah, I think I kind of like that measurement there. So that'll be kind of fun. Hey Cynthia, it's good to see you. So that's the kind of crazy stuff that's going on around here. I had a to-do list that I made up of things that I wanted to do before I went back to work, and I finished that on Wednesday. So either I have to figure out more stuff to do, or I just have to scrapbook through the rest of my photos. I do have, and I'm sorry if I hit that, you guys. I do have some pre-digital photos. This needs to get moved just a little bit. Some pre-digital photos and like photos from my past. I've scrapped all my childhood photos, but I have stuff that's like a young adult and, you know, my first apartment and all sorts of other stuff that I can go back and scrap if I run out of things. I feel like I need to do that. I was supposed to do next weekend, I was supposed to be on a scrapbook retreat that we moved to December. So hopefully that'll be far enough out. And she did it about at least 2 weeks ago. And when she did it, I went, yeah, that's probably wise, because the first day of it would have, our stay-at-home order wouldn't have been off anyway. But even then, you know, you never know. So I'm really glad she moved it. So that was a little sad, but you know, at the rate I'm scrapbooking right now, I wouldn't have anything to scrapbook. Kind of crazy. I know people say they run out of photos. I never thought I'd do it. And I was so far, and I hate to use the word behind because I don't really believe in that, but I had a lot to scrapbook yet from last year, and my nephew's wife is pregnant, so they're going to have another baby in June, and I thought, oh my gosh, how am I ever going to get caught up to start doing her baby photos. Now I'm sure there will be less of those than there were of her older brother, because you know, you know, you know what that's like with second and third and fourth children. They just don't have as many photos as the original one, but or the oldest one, the original. Anyway, I just thought I'm never gonna get this caught up, and yeah, I actually have those photos done, so that's kind of fun. So I'll tell you about why I'm doing stuff in just a little bit. This is just getting kind of looking at space, and I didn't make the borders exactly even, but close-ish, I guess, would be that. And I don't measure per se. I'm just going to eyeball. I do the same thing when I'm hanging photos or pictures on the wall and that kind of stuff. I only eyeball. And this is actually kind of easy to do that because I have lines here that I can follow. I have these dotted lines, although you saw me just have to move that other one. And it's funny, one of these pages is off in length. I'm not sure which length they're width because I keep getting they're a little bit off from side to side here. Oh, I didn't even see this, but I have ink on this. We'll call that distressed, right? And the other thing I should be paying attention to is making sure that I kind of like that I just cut these in 4 because that way then I know the stripes match up. Oops. Okay, let's try that again. This is the hard part. Okay. All right. There we go. Now, the other thing, too, when I was talking about stuff to do, I was supposed to move this spring. I think I've talked about that. I was looking at buying a condo, and I was actually pre-approved for a mortgage the week before Wisconsin shut down, and I have stopped looking, and I probably won't be moving this year, which I'm really okay with. Okay, so I think we're going to do it this way. Obviously, I settled on just putting that there. I like the flow across here. And these are, so these are a little bit shorter than that is. If I had really looked, I would have cut down this a little bit. And actually, let's see, I think I still can, yeah. I'm just going to shave off a tiny bit. I use a Caterpillar Pro platform trimmer, and it's really nice for shaving little bits. It does a really good job with that. The only thing that's hard is you can't gut paper with it. So, okay, so Barbara's saying Delaware is limiting the number of people's stores based on the fire code to, yeah, we, they really are limiting them around here too. Like, they're literally, just because I live so close to Walmart, I've been there, you know, a few times. There's literally somebody standing there with like an iPad counting how many people are going in and going out to make sure they don't have too many people in per square foot at a time, which that's crazy, right? Well, not crazy, but amazing that that kind of stuff is happening. How about that? Let me rephrase that. Okay, so now the question. Now I'm thinking that I could put the title across this space here, which would make sense. And I'm going to call it Happy Hallowinter because that's what we were saying around here when this happened, was Happy Hallowinter. Okay, so I could pop that there and kind of layer it over the photo too, because that's really basically my neighbor's garbage can is there. That's not very exciting. Or it could go up in here somewhere. I guess that's going to depend on how clusters are. So let me look for an alpha there for us, or for me. Kind of silly. See, I really do think I'm scrapping with you guys. Here's something I really probably need to do is go through my thickers again. I did this a little while ago, but I probably really need to do it again because I've used up, I've got quite a few alphas now that I can't make words out of anymore. So I'm going to measure. This one looks like it might be a little too small because I think I want it to rest on there. Because then the other word might only go through right about here. Okay, so the next one would go, well, that's not too bad. I think this won't go far enough across, but we're going to try this. I do like this alpha. I'm rethinking that again. It's too much space up here. I think it's looking, now if I didn't have like 24 other black alphas, I might have decided to do that. So hey Michelle, good to see you. Yeah, this one would be a good one too. That's kind of fun, and I barely use that alpha. For some reason my black and gray is together. Yeah, I definitely need to look at my thickers. That'll be a good activity maybe later. Although there is that really cool, the One World concert is on tonight, and I think I would really like to see that. It'll be interesting. So let's see. Ooh, I kind of like that. The black and white there. And I think, again, space-wise, this is nice, but I like that better because it's a little bit bigger. So let's just hope. I honestly, you guys, I've had this alpha for a while. I don't think I've used it. Nope, I have not. So I guess that means I have to use it. I found a couple things like that recently, like older product like this, that I just found, I find it hard to use alphas if they're not like consistent. If the color's not consistent across them, like if they're not all blue or whatever it is. So that's probably why I haven't used this. Sometimes that, yeah. So then I'll challenge myself sometimes to do that. And I'm trying to think what product I found. Oh, this was kind of fun. I've had these Amy Tangerine, they call them Flare, but they're really Mylar. And I think I'd used one. Well, no, I'd used more than that because I'd used 4 of them and I still had 4 left. And these are from 2015. And I have had them since the beginning. And I put 3 of them on a layout yesterday. I was very excited about that. So I sometimes when I find stuff, I'll pull it out and I'll put it right up here on my desk and like make myself use it then. Which I don't, you know, that's fine. I'm not, it's not bothering me to have to use them. These are going to definitely need to be glued down. This is a Dear Lizzie alpha. It's the Petals alpha, and I didn't write down what collection that's from, but it's old again. Maybe I can tell you. Yeah, 2016. And this, sometimes I'll buy things at Tuesday morning. But this one, I think, was a regular purchase. Okay, so happy. And I'm really happy that I got to use this particular alphabet because I don't have to worry about not having a letter. So, this was crazy. It doesn't snow here that early normally. Thinking back on that and going, oh my gosh, we all thought we were going to be in for a really awful winter. It really wasn't that bad. The beginning of the spring, maybe I'm not so fond of. I would like our, you know, last week we had a 70-degree day one day, or almost 70-degree day, and I could do that again. Oops, I'm spelling Halloween, can you tell? Let's try this again. That's just kind of natural. Now here's a little bit of a thing here. My photo here is just a titch higher than the photo next to it. So when I actually glue this on, I'm going to have to glue it so that the letters are probably going to have to touch that just a little bit, which is fine. Okay, oh yeah, perfect. And that's nice because it takes up a lot of space here, which I really like. Okay. Thought I'd see if there were any like asterisks. There's 2 hashtag marks and 2 plus sign marks to pull that stuff in. And now that I'm looking at those girl papery, I can't think of what these things are called, but anyway, I think this is not going to look right because now that the title's in white, it's way too distressed for that layout. So that will have to wait for another layout. So, okay. So, cluster here. Here we go. Maybe this here or something down here. And then I think I need something up here, maybe up at the top here, just because I think it really needs to balance this. I think that might be a little weighty for up here. Just gonna, and this is a little bit creamy colored because the paper I put it on, but it's not too bad. Yeah, this feels like if I'm going to do this, I need to tuck it in a lot more. Let me see. Yeah, I'm not loving that over there. There it feels like it's just floating. That could do it here, and we could do it there, and I really don't love it here, so I think that's going to be the best place. And now I need to figure out what's going on over here. I think it needs to be something with a pretty good presence to it. So one of the things I don't want to do is I don't want that line and this line to be in exactly the same place, just for visual interest. And this is slightly off from the, so you want it off enough that it doesn't look like you didn't, you know, that you did it accidentally. Kind of figuring out. I do like this little tag that says boo. It says boo. So, and then this scary stuff there is pretty funny too. This little guy that says hocus pocus is kind of fun. It's going the wrong direction though. It needs to be over here. I always find speech bubbles hard to use. Hey, Harmony. I like the eek here. Playing with this to see if I can make it look like the skeleton's saying it, and no, I actually don't like that. So back to this. Sometimes I'll just cut the little speech bubble thing off of it. Hocus pocus could go over here. And I really don't need this boo tag for any journaling, so I can kind of do what I want to over here. I'll try it this way too. Sometimes just flipping it from one side to the other will be enough. And so what's happening here is I'm having a hard time because the line, if I pull this down anymore, it's even with that line on the bottom of the scallop here. And I really want it to be, I want the lines to be off a little bit. Oh, thank you, Cynthia. I'm glad I'm not the only one. All right, I do have this boo as well too. But I kind of like the little bit of purple there. There's a little banner here that says Eek. Okay, but that's a little bit too much. And then I have those guys. So I think I like that so far. Oh, and I forgot, I have all this other, I have stickers and I have some chipboard here too. Although the chipboard is from a Making Memories collection, so it is definitely on the creamy distressed side, so we won't do that. All right, I think what I'm going to do is get these down. Yeah, Cynthia, is your problem that you feel like somebody should be saying it? Like, I want a speech bubble to be coming out of somebody's mouth or something to be, quote, saying it, even though obviously nobody's saying it, but okay, you guys get to see my hair. I took a shower, but didn't do anything more than that. You know, the fact that we take showers now is a pretty good deal. Well, if you're non-essential, how about that? Those of you who are essential workers need to do that. Hey, Moira. That was our Halloween snowstorm, Moira. I bet you guys had some snow around Halloween too, knowing where you live. It was definitely something we were booing about. Okay, so this is going to go up on a little bit of foam tape here. Ooh, and I almost forgot, I was talking about snowflakes, wasn't I? So I have to remember that too. And I have lots of different kinds of snowflakes. Not as many as I used to have, though. That's been my last 2 years for December daily. I've been really trying to use up my snowflakes. Yeah, the flip-flop years. We haven't had a flip-flop Halloween year in quite a while around here. I think we're due for one. So you guys, on the double page layout, I'm only probably going to do 3 spots of embellishment. So it's going to come, the triangle will come across this way. My photographs will be included in that triangle, you know, kind of coming across here. Sometimes I'll do almost like 5 spots. So like an example would be is if I had something here, I could do something here and maybe something here and here. And sometimes I'll change that up a little bit depending on how I, like what the page looks like to me and where things are located. So thanks, Moira. But this one I'm only going to do 3. I most of the time use an uneven number. That's just visually more pleasing to our eyes. Okay, and I know how we're going to get rid of my little speech bubble problem. I'm going to do the same thing as I did over there. It's going up on some foam tape. You guys, I had a little bit of an emergency. I don't know if I talked about this last week, but I was using my Cricut to cut happy hearts for my front window and never thought anything of it. Did it, all was good. Went to cut some stuff to just some cut files just to play with, and my Cricut wouldn't cut them. And I thought it was the blade. And then I realized I was able to get a blade sent to me from somebody. I don't remember who it was, whether it wasn't scrapbook.com. I don't think it was Amazon. It wasn't Amazon. I just messed my title up, but that's okay because I am going to have to, now you see I really am going to have to glue those down. But anyway, got the blade and it didn't make any difference. So then it was like, where do I get the mats? Went to walmart.com. It showed we didn't have any in my store, and it was going to be a while to get them. So I went to Amazon and had them get them to me, and it's not essential. So it did come this week finally. But I was in Walmart like the next day after they had told me they didn't have any, and they actually had some. So I was able to get one, but that was like one of those things between adhesive I stocked up on almost right away because I knew I was getting low and I knew I was going to be scrapbooking a lot. But I did not do the same thing for, didn't think about, that's too busy. I didn't think about that for like Cricut mats. Okay, I think what I need to do before I do anything else here is investigate snowflakes. Now I could cut this trim apart and do some peeking out here and there, and maybe that's what I'll do. I'm going to see how this works because they're all not exactly perfect, so it might be good to do it this way. This one's going to be difficult because I kind of, yeah, I really messed this up no matter what side I use. Okay, let's try this a little bit differently. This may not work quite as brilliantly as I thought. So what I could do is tuck them under. Yeah, I'm not liking this because the way I had to trim them, I don't like them. So let's see. I did bring my winter stuff over. What I can find in some of my winter collections here. Let's see, I know I have some in here, but not enough. There's 3 in colors I could use, but maybe not. That's a backup. And then the other option, let's see. I have another winter collection here, but yeah, no snowflakes left there. That's a good thing, you guys. I'm counting that as a good thing, not a bad thing. So I think what I need to do is have my wood veneer snowflakes, which involves a little bit of digging, as you can hear. Okay, so I keep hardware boxes like this in a drawer right to my left hand, and I have what I would call regular wood veneer, and then this is my seasonal wood veneer, and it's nice because you can kind of compartmentalize it and make it really easy to get to them. So I have square snowflakes, I have bigger snowflakes like this, and then I have these smaller snowflakes, and I think this is what I'm thinking about using. So I'm going to play around a little bit with these just to see. That's actually maybe even going to be a little bit too big. And I have lots of different snowflakes here, so. All right. So have you guys been watching Mini Kit Monday, or did you watch the first Mini Kit Monday this week? I actually just finished my last layout for Mini Kit Monday, and my version for this month is going to go until the first week of June. I think I said when I did it that I had really made a big kit. Yeah. Okay, since all my snowflakes are starting to look almost the same. Oh, actually, they're not exactly, so I guess that's okay. Anyway, I was kind of laughing. I was like, really? I had enough stuff to go for like 6 weeks. But the cool part is I use 6 weeks worth of stuff on layouts, which I think is wonderful. All right. I think I'm going to scatter a few more smaller ones around yet. This one is looking clunky to me compared to the other ones, so let's see. I liked it better the other way. Okay. And don't ask me why I liked it better the other way. I just did. Now, the other thing that I'm seeing is in these clusters, there's black and orange in all of them. There's gray in 2 out of the 3. I'm not as concerned about this one not having gray in, but there's purple here and there's not purple in the other 2. So I think what I'm going to want to do is take care of that with an enamel dot most probably. The other thing that I'm looking at is I'm okay with just the 2 in that cluster. Some of the other ones don't think, I think I need a little more somewhere, like a 3rd one. Or maybe not now that I'm putting it in. I'm thinking kind of like sprinkles. But yeah, now it's feeling like I have 2. It just crossed the line from being fine to too much on the page. And I'm still playing with this snowflake here. I'm not totally in love with that guy. But I think that might be the answer. Or maybe is this one a little, this one's, I've changed this out a couple times, haven't I? That's basically the same version. And I like these. These are Studio Calico, by the way, guys. There's bigger and smaller ones. So you can use these to make them look like a doily or a snowflake. Okay, I'm thinking too hard about this now. So we're going to put the snowflakes away. And then I'm going to grab some purple enamel dots. Which there's a lovely range right there of purple, and I'm not going to look any further because that's going to go very nicely with this. Okay. Oh. And I may do, oh, let's see, that may need to go if I do this. Kind of like, I like to tuck these. There we go. I like to tuck those purple ones under things because they're so big. Like, I'm going to tuck that one right there. Because even that size for me sometimes gets a little big. Okay, then I think we need one more somewhere here. And actually, let's tuck this up here. And then we'll put the snowflake there so they kind of make a little cluster. And then I'll just add that one. There's one there, so we'll add this one up here. I'm going to put this down. Most of the time I use my ATG to do my wood veneer. Oh, I saw something really cool, you guys. I don't know why it made me think of this, but on YouTube right now, there is a channel called The Show Must Go On. And on weekends, Andrew Lloyd Webber releases versions of his Broadway shows. And they're only open in England, it's 24 hours. In the US, it's 48. So today I saw Phantom, which is my favorite Broadway show of all time. So check that out if you're a Broadway fan. It's really cool. Last week I think it was Jesus Christ Superstar. So Brittany was asking if I ever use Paper Studio brand from Hobby Lobby, and the answer to that is yes. I definitely do. kind of depends on what it is. I definitely, the big thing I use the Paper Studio binders for storing, 3-ring binders for storing my layouts. That's the big thing I use from them. And then I'll either use their page protectors or Michael's page protectors. I do definitely use some of their, like their paper, like I don't, Michael's used to carry Basil cardstock, they don't anymore. But I think Hobby Lobby still is, so I like that. So Moira, definitely check it out. It's really awesome. And definitely, if you miss it this week, check out next week. I'm hoping they do Les Mis, which I love. Phantom and Les Mis. Those are my top 2 favorites. So, anyway, so I'll use like cardstock from there, but I will definitely grab papers from there. They're usually thinner, but I'm okay with that too, as long as I like the designs. And then I also like their paper kits that they have, which are not actually Paper Studio. But I will do their embellishments as well too. As a matter of fact, I can grab these bows that I have. These I bought for my nephew's wedding album and didn't use them all because nephew's wedding albums. And then like these Valentine's embellishments. I'm trying to think what else I have from them, but oh, here. I have a flare set here. So I definitely do use things from them. So a Les Mis and Phantom fan. I'm an old-fashioned Broadway lover, I guess. I know I have 2 friends that their favorite is definitely Wicked, which I like. But I kind of spoiled Wicked for myself when I went to see it. I had read the book about a year before, and the book is very different. The storyline for the book is very different than the storyline in Wicked, and it spoiled it for me, honestly, you guys. Because it kind of follows it, but not really. And so, you know, it was very, Wicked is a very Disneyized version of the book, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I think I'm going to put this one out here, and this one I want maybe on that. A lot of times I like my enamel dots to sit next to, underneath, on top of something that it's, yeah, I think this one is going to have to do this. I like them on top of whatever it is because I think it helps it bring the layout together even more. All right, look at that. I only have 3 purple enamel dots left in that set. I also happen to know that I have another set of these, so. Ah, cool, Moira. So I think it'll be up probably till tomorrow night then. Hopefully for you guys in Canada. Definitely in the US, it'll be up until tomorrow sometime. So, but I just joined the channel, and then I have to remember on Fridays at some point to go look at it. It's just, oh my gosh. And if you watch Phantom, watch it all the way through, because there's a really nice, lovely surprise if you're a Phantom, a fan of Phantom. I'm going to go grab some twine here. Okay. And just grab some orange. Here's another place, Brittany, where I use Hobby Lobby, or the Paper Studio. This is, they sell packs of twine on rolls like this in 12 or 18 different colors. So it's if you don't have all the colors in the rainbow, or like when I first got twine, I didn't have that much of it. This was a really easy way for me to get a lot of twine for a really inexpensive price. So that's a little hint. Okay, so you guys, you know how I always said I never had nails and I always had to use my tweezers? Well, now I have nails and I still find that I have to use my tweezers. It's time to redo my nails too, which is very exciting. And my nails grow really fast because I use my hands Obviously, I have not been using my hands much lately, but because my hands are so used to being used and there's a lot of blood flow to them, that I end up with nails growing all the time. And that's not a complaint. I'm very lucky that way. Well, now I'm very lucky. When you're a massage therapist, it's not always so lucky. I actually bought little hand grip exercisers this week to make sure that I'm keeping my hands strong. Because when I go back, I'm going to be working like a crazy person. All right. You guys, I think I'm done. I think that's pretty happy with that. And even though I somehow got ink on here, it's kind of disappeared because that's where the title is. So I like the way it looks. I'm thinking it's pretty good. I don't really think I need anything else. I like the little touches of snow here. And this alpha almost looks, I didn't think about this at the time, but here's another reason to love this on this design, is that this alphabet almost looks like it's snowing. So how cool is that? So thanks, you guys. Thanks, Cynthia and Harmony. So that's another thing that when I was doing it, I don't know that I really thought about that, but those are the little touches I think that you can put on your layout sometimes that nobody else might pick up on it, but when you know it, or it just gives it, you know, it gives it like a wintry kind of feeling. So I really love the way this turned out. So that means I have in here, I'll do this so you can't, I have this photograph left. And then my 2019 albums are going to be done. So I will do that at some point. I'm going to run and pick up those photographs because I did 1 hour pickup and I might as well go get it. And otherwise I feel bad about the poor person who had to make my photographs. But anyway, so that's pretty good. Let me think if there's an update. I don't know if I knew this when I was talking, but my sister was sick last week and early this week. They think probably COVID. She works with somebody who really closely, the biggest counterpart, she's a nurse, her biggest counterpart that she was doing a lot of training with over the last 3 weeks was tested positive over last weekend. So I was a little worried about her over last weekend. It wasn't great for her, but I talked to her this morning. Well, I've talked to her every day, or at least texted with her, because her breathing was not great, as a lot of people's isn't when they have it. But anyway, so we texted every day, but I talked to her this morning. She's doing really well. She was walking. She was really jealous because I got to the run and she couldn't. And I said, if you run anytime in the next week, you're going to be in trouble. So anyway, so she's actually doing really, really well. So yeah, Harmony, it was scary. So my sister is 2 years younger than I am. She's 54. She's in really good shape. I always say she's 100 pounds dripping wet. And she really seriously is not much more than that, dripping wet. And she's really, really healthy. And it hit her really hard. Now, the good news is it hit her really hard for a very short amount of time. Like she had 3, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday were really bad for her. So, you know, I guess one of my things is, you know, I try not to get really political here. For me, I'm a massage therapist, so I'm not going to be working. But she would now be my 7th family member that has had the virus. So, you know, my stepkids and grandkids all had it too, as much as they can tell they did, just because they couldn't be tested. And thank goodness none of them could be tested. It means they weren't sick enough to be tested, right? So anyway, so you probably understand that I'm not in love with the fact that Wisconsin's under quarantine right now until right after Memorial Day. But I'm glad that we have the ability, our governor has the ability to open things up more slowly and thoughtfully. How about that? That's what I'm going to say. And I hope that for everybody that's true. And I certainly, like, if you live in Wyoming, I can understand why you wouldn't want to be under quarantine. As a matter of fact, there are counties up in northern Wisconsin that don't have a case. So you know, maybe they can open part of those up first, but definitely, and for me, I don't remember if I can never remember what I've said, you guys, so sorry, but I work in the 3rd highest incidence of COVID, that my county has the 3rd highest incidence of positive COVID tests. So seriously, I want to be really careful for not just me, because I have asthma, but also just for my clients. So yeah, so not to be political or anything, but obviously I've been touched by it and can see even in somebody really, really healthy like my sister, what it can do. So I hope you guys and your families are all safe and that nobody's going too crazy. Definitely check out Mini Kit Monday. I'll have my second layout out. And yes, Moira, I'm going to be very careful. I don't think I'm going, let me put it to you this way. I am pretty sure that I am not going to go back to work for at least 2 weeks. Part of that is that Milwaukee has had just a little uptick again in the positives again over the last 2 days. And then and then we had an election last week, Tuesday, that was very very well publicized, unfortunately. And so it's going to be about 2 weeks before we kind of know what's going on there. So yeah, I really wish people would take it more seriously to Harmony. Yep, and that's I see that too. I see things are just as busy. I mask when I'm out, you guys. I do. Also, my other problem is I do have some surgical masks that I have saved. I didn't have a lot, but I did not donate them because I am I'm medical personnel, and I am going to need them when I go back to work. So I only have about 10, but a very close friend of mine checked in with me on Thursday and asked how I was doing because she saw the order come through and knew that meant I wasn't going back to work for a while, and asked if there was anything she could do. And I said, no, I'm okay. Things are good here, you know, a little bit of a roller coaster, but it's good. So I had texted her a little bit later because I wanted to sew some masks and ask her what pattern she was using, and she said, how many do you want? So she's sewing 10 masks for me because she's a quilter and she's a really awesome seamstress. So this is one of those things, you know, Mr. Rogers always said, in times of trouble look for the helpers, and this is one of those things. She made me cry, actually, and then she said that I brought tears to her eyes, as grateful as I was. But that'll be cool. So the good news is when I go back to work, I'm going to be protected, so that's good. So I'm watching everything that you guys are saying, and yeah, washing your hands raw. My hands are actually in better shape than they are when I work, and I think that's because minimum just from clients a day when I work, I wash my hands 16 times because I wash them before I go in and when I come out. And then if you consider that I probably use the restroom, but I use the restroom most of those times as well. Now I'm up to 24 times just when I work. So my hands are actually in better shape. And I'm able to, when I wash my hands, I'm able to moisturize them right away. And I use a hand lotion because I hate having stuff on my hands. I know that sounds crazy because I've got oil on my hands all day, but I don't like hand lotion. I use one with royal jelly in it, so it really keeps my hands nice and soft. So I think we've talked about that. So anyway, so oh, that's nice that you can work from home. That's pretty cool. So yeah, Harmony, that's just, it's awful. And I'm sorry, I missed that you actually worked at the grocery store. Oh my gosh, I just realized that. Well, seriously, bless you, because wow. You know, I think it's different when my sister's a nurse and she's working. If you work in a grocery store, seriously, that's a big deal. And I will tell you that for when I am in the grocery store, anytime I see a grocery store associate, I am thanking them. And they always are really taken aback by that, which I think is awful, which means that people are not thanking you guys for working. So, yeah, unfortunately you are essential, but so, do that. I thank people there. I did a little takeout last night because I'm trying to support once a week at a restaurant in the area, and I thank them for being there as well too, which I'm sure they were happy because they have jobs, but still they're working in a tough area. So that I'm laughing, Moira, about how the Quebecers are normally undisciplined but are obeying the rules. So that's really awesome. So yeah, and Harmony said she uses Utter Butter. I use that regular lotion on a normal basis, and if you guys are having other problems too, the other thing I use is O'Keeffe's, which is it's almost like a paste wax. So that's another good one if you're having hand washing issues. But I honestly, my hands are in better shape, way better shape than they normally are. So anyway, oh my gosh, Harmony, really take care, because boy, I'm thinking about that. I don't like it when I have to go to the grocery store, much less having to work in one. So definitely take care. All right, you guys. So I think that's it. And I think that's it, though. And I was just thinking, Harmony, I'm going to add you to my prayer list, because I pray for people who are out working. Linda, I just saw your husband's a plumber. I'm going to be doing that too. So I'll definitely add you and Linda, your husband. If there's anybody else that you guys want me to add, I think I'm praying for like 35 or 40 people now. I stopped counting, actually. So people who are essential, or people who were sick. For anybody that I know that's sick, I've been praying for as well. So that's a kind of cool thing. And oh my gosh, how cool, the parade. Oh, that just warms my heart. So again, like I said, that in a time where things are scary, and people can be all crazy and up in arms, it's really cool when you get to see the helper people, right? So all right, you guys, hope you guys have a good evening. Hope you get a little bit of crafty time this weekend, especially if you're still working and essential, and whether you're working from home or out and about. And I will definitely see you guys. Oh, hold on. Okay, so Harmony, and then we're praying for Harmony's mom, Christine, too. All right, I will definitely add her as well, too. And you guys can always, if you think of somebody later on that you want to add, just pop it into the comments for me, and I'll be happy to do that. Or if you think of them at any point in time, I will be happy to do that. I have nothing but time right now. A good part of that can be spent praying, seriously, or at least a chunk of it can definitely be spent praying. So you guys take care. I hope you are all safe and well, and your families as well, too. Bye, everybody.